This is your first time here?
Yes.
I see. What do you do as a group when you get together? Normally?
We are from the same Buddhist society. We do have our activities, Buddhist spiritual activities.
Normally just do dana?
Dhamma talk, meditation.
You do some meditation? Okay. So you know about dana, sila, samatha bhavana, vipassana bhavana. Okay. These are the main activities that Buddhists should concentrate on if they want to eliminate the kilesa, defilement, which is the cause of their anxiety, stress, restlessness, and all the bad feelings. This is the way for real happiness. The happiness that we acquire from having money, being able to do anything, buy anything, is a temporary kind of happiness, which can turn into unhappiness, into sadness, when you cannot do what you want to do, because you have to rely on many things, like you have to rely on money, you have to rely on your health, your body. You have to have a healthy body, and you have to have lots of money, so you can then do anything that you want to do. But any time that you run out of money, or when your health is no longer strong, then you will not be able to do what you like to do. When you cannot do what you want to do, then you will have sadness. But if you know how to do another kind of happiness, build another kind of happiness, which doesn't have to rely on having money or on having a strong, healthy body, then when you don't have money, or when your body is not strong or healthy, you can still be happy. This is the happiness of heart or mind, which arises from the practice of bhavana, or we call meditation. We have two levels of meditation. The first level is for calming the mind. The second level is to teach the mind to become enlightened, which is vipassana. Before we can enlighten the mind must first be peaceful and calm. So the first step we have to do is to calm the mind, to bring happiness to the mind. Because when the mind is calm and peaceful, the mind is happy. And this happy doesn't rely on the body or on your money. You can be happy without having money. You can be happy even if your body is sick or not healthy. So you must try to achieve this first goal first, is to keep your mind peaceful and calm. And the way to do it is you have to have mindfulness, because mindfulness will be the one that will be able to direct the mind to become calm and peaceful. Mindfulness is to focus on one object, one mental object, such as the mantra. We use the Bhutto, Bhutto. If you can recite Bhutto, Bhutto mentally all the time, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep, only pause for when you have to think about something important. Like when you work, you have to use your thought, then you stop your mantra. But when you don't have anything to think, don't have any work to think, then you should not let your mind think aimlessly. Because when you think aimlessly, it tends to go in the way of the kilesa. You would want to become richer, want to be happier, want to have more stuff, want to have this and that. When you have this kind of thinking, it will start to create restlessness and anxiety. Your mind will not be peaceful, calm, or happy. But if you can refrain it from thinking like that, keep it thinking just on the mantra, just keep repeating Bhutto, Bhutto, then the mind will not be able to think in the way of the kilesa. Then the mind will not be restless or agitated. It will be peaceful and calm and happy. And when you sit in meditation, your mind can become easily concentrated, become one, enter into jhana, enter into samadhi, where you will find the happiness that arises from being peaceful and calm. Then you will know that there's no other kind of happiness in the world that is equal to this kind of happiness. Then you know that you can get rid of your attachment to your money and your body, because you need them to make you happy. But now you have another kind of happiness that doesn't need the body or need the money. Then you would not have to worry about your body health. You don't have to worry about your financial health. Whether you're rich or poor, it doesn't matter. Whether you're sick or not sick, it doesn't matter. Because you can always create this happiness that arises from having mindfulness. So it's very important to develop mindfulness at all times. The Buddha taught the Venerable Ananda, his disciple, his caretaker, who looked after the Buddha. He said, Ananda, you should be mindful of death all the time, Marananusati. If you can think about death all the time, it will make your mind peaceful and calm. Because when you think of that, then you will not have any desire to be rich or to have anything. Because you know that you cannot take anything with you when you die. And all you want is peace of mind. So try to reflect on death from time to time, if not all the time. Because you need a strong mind to be able to reflect on death. Because death is something that the mind is supposed to. The defilement doesn't like the mind to think of death. But death is a strong medicine that can cure the mind from the kilesa, can kill the kilesa. But if your mind is not strong enough, then you should use other kind of mindfulness. Use the mantra, use the word Bhutto instead, to make your mind peaceful and calm first. Once your mind is peaceful and calm, and when you come out of samadhi, then you can use that mind which is free of kilesa. Not in the sense that the kilesa had been destroyed, but the kilesa has been making weaker, so it doesn't oppose the mind from seeing the truth. Normally, the kilesa doesn't like to see the truth of the Tilakkana, the three characteristics of existence, namely anicca, dukkha, anatta. That everything in this world is anicca. They are temporary. They are dukkha because they change, they disappear. They are anatta. They are beyond your control. You cannot tell them to be with you all the time, or to be good to you all the time. They change according to their nature. So you must beware of these three characteristics. When you do, then you will not rely on them to give you happiness. Such as look at your body as having the three characteristics. The body is anicca, it is temporary. It will get sick, get old, and die. Just keep thinking like this, so you can then don't have to rely on your body. Replace your body with mindfulness, with samadhi instead. If you have mindfulness, you have samadhi, you will have happiness, that you don't have to rely on the body. So when you don't rely on the body, then when the body gets sick, get old or die, it will not bother you. So this is what you should try to do in your practice. The first step is to develop mindfulness. This is like having the key to your automobile. Before you can drive the car, you need to get into the car first, right? So you need a key to unlock the door. Once you unlock the door, then you can then put the key in the ignition switch and then start the car and drive the car to wherever you want to go. The same way with driving your mind to Nibbana, you need mindfulness. It is the key that will open the door to samadhi. Once you have samadhi, then you can develop wisdom or panya. Once you have panya, you can eliminate all the desire that is the cause of your mental suffering. When you have eliminated all your desire, then there will be no mental suffering left in your mind. Then your mind will be pure and peaceful forever. Because the mind is permanent, not like the body, which is temporary. See, after the body dies, the mind doesn't die with the body. If the mind still have desire for a new body, then it will go take up and get a new body. Yeah. But if you can eliminate the desire to have the body, then when you die, you don't have to come back and be born again. And when you're not born, then you don't have to get sick, get old, or die, or get separated from the ones that you love, the things that you love. So there would be no more suffering for you. So this is basically what the Buddha teaches us to do. So what you do dana so that you can stop using the money as your means of buying happiness. Instead of buying things to make you happy, you give money away, helping other people, making other people happy, and you will have a better kind of happiness, a happiness of heart that arises from helping other people, making others happy. And then you will can stop your desire from using money to buy happiness, which is only temporary happiness. You buy something, you're happy for a few days, then that happiness disappears. Then you have a new desire to buy more things. But when you give money away to charity, you eliminate your desire to buy things to make you happy. Then when you don't have any money to buy anything, you won't be unhappy, you won't be affected, because you don't have any desire to buy anything. But if you keep buying things, then you have to keep buying on and on, more and more. And when you cannot buy, then you become sad and unhappy. So use your money wisely. And the best way to use it is to give it to charity. Okay. All right. Then it will make your heart, you will have metta, you will have loving kindness and compassion for other human beings. Then it will be easy for you to keep the 5 precepts. If you don't have if you don't do charity, you are selfish. So you want to make more money, more happiness for yourself. So whatever you do, you might not worry. You don't care if other people get hurt by what you do, because all you want is to make yourself happy. But if you help other people, you make other people happy, then whatever you do, even if when you have to work to acquire money to maintain your life, you will consider other people, whether your action affect them or not. See? If what you do hurt other people, then you would not want to do, because you have metta, you have karuna, you have loving kindness, you have compassion that arise from your giving of dana. So dana will help you develop metta, karuna, so that it will enable you to be able to keep the 5 precepts. If you can keep the 5 precepts, your mind can become a lot more peaceful. Because if you're not doing anything bad, your mind will not feel bad. But when you do bad things, your mind become bad, feel bad. So this is the way of avoiding creating bad feelings in the mind and keeping the mind peaceful and happy by keeping the 5 precepts. Then you can once you can keep the 5 precepts, then you can move up to the 8 precepts. The 8 precept is necessary for your practice of bhavana, because you have to restrain your desire from going outside of the mind to look for happiness. If you keep the 8 precepts, you cannot go to a party, you cannot go to a movie, you cannot go outside. You have to stay in a place where there are no this kind of activity, like staying in the temple. You cannot sleep with your husband or wife. You cannot eat after midday, because all of these things are just activity that will disrupt your meditation practice. So if you can stop this activity, then you will have the time to focus on your meditation, and then you will be able to achieve the result from your meditation that way. So this is the step-by-step approach that the Buddha teaches, starting from dana to sila, from sila to bhavana. Once you've gone through all these steps, then the result will be the magga phala nibbana, will be the eventual result. So this is basically what my message for you today, and hope you pick it up and do as much as you can. Okay, I have a couple books in English that Tan Yiwe has already prepared here. You can take them over in the package, and you can distribute them later on among yourself. Okay, and if anybody would like to ask any question, you can feel free to do so now.
Ajahn, instead of Buddha, can we be mindful of our breath?
Yes, there are 40 subject of meditation. You just choose the one that is suitable for you, which in your daily activity you might have to switch from one thing to another. Depends, because if you're watching your breathing, your breath, when you do your activity, you might find it difficult to focus on your breathing. You might have to focus on your physical activity instead, your body movement. So it depends on your ability to focus on whichever object. Some people like to use the mantra, so they just keep using the mantra. Some like to focus on the body, watch the body. They just keep watching the body. Every movement of the body is fully watched. So keep your mind from wandering to other things. Anything you can find useful that will bring your mind to the present, to be here and now, and not to think about other things, then that method is suitable for you.
When we recite the mantra before, we actually pay attention to only the sound of it, or do we
just concentrate on just the reciting itself, because the reciting is a thinking. If you concentrate on this thinking, then you cannot think on other things. Just like when you're singing, what do? You concentrate on the song you sing, right? Just the same way, like chanting, you concentrate on the chanting. If you find concentrating on the mantra is too difficult because it's maybe repetitious, and you want something more variable, more variety, then you can use chanting instead. You can go Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Keep repeating that in order to keep the mind occupied, so that the mind cannot go think about other things. And when you sit down, you can either continue on with your chanting or your mantra, or if you feel tired, you want to stop, you can just watch your breath instead. Beware of your breath, in and out breath. Just beware. Don't try to control your breath. Leave the breath alone. You just want to use the breath as your anchor to keep the mind from wandering, thinking aimlessly. And you want to be one, focus on one thing at a time.
In the meantime, Ajahn, we can switch from one thing to another as long as it has something to do with our body.
Yes.
Not outside it.
Something here and now.
Here.
Be in the present. Don't go to the past or to the future. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Because when you do, you tend to have kilesa arise. But if you just look at your body, just beware to prevent you from thinking. But when you sit, you cannot look at the body anymore because the body is not doing anything. Then you watch your breath instead. Or you can use a mantra instead. Sometimes you cannot watch your breath, you cannot use a mantra. You might use chanting first to calm your mind. So it depends on how your mind behaves at each individual time. You have to find the right kind of meditation subject to calm the mind.
When we watch mental states like aversion, do we watch the cause of the aversion as well?
Yes, aversion has a cause, and namely, the cause of aversion is your desire. You want something, and when you don't get something, you have aversion, you have anger. So if you can cut down your desire, then your anger will be less. Yeah.
For example, let's say we have pain.
We
have pain and we watch the aversion towards the pain. So the desire is we want a more comfortable position.
That's right.
To relieve the pain. So we know that it is that cause.
That's right.
So how do we approach that?
You just have to bring your mind to neutral, bring the mind to samadhi, to upekkha. That's why you need samadhi first before you can contemplate on vipassana. See, when you contemplate on vipassana, such as the nature of pain, you have to see that it is anicca, dukkha, anatta, namely that you cannot control the pain. You cannot tell it to go away, but you can control your mind to be able to live with the pain.
So at what level of samadhi do we watch vipassana?
Every level.
Any level.
You can try. Once you have samadhi, after you withdraw from samadhi, then if you have any problem, any suffering, any desire, then try to use your vipassana to solve that problem. Like if you have pain and you want to leave the pain alone, that's the goal. Because if you want the pain to disappear, you're creating suffering in your mind. You're creating desire, which is the cause of mental suffering, which is a lot stronger than the physical suffering. If you don't create the mental suffering, then your mind can withstand the physical suffering. It can coexist with the physical suffering. But the mind cannot coexist with its own suffering. So the goal here is to prevent the mind from creating the mental suffering, which is triggered by the physical suffering. See? So you first have to have samadhi, because when you have samadhi, your mind has this ability to remain still, remain undisturbed. Once you have this ability, then you just tell the mind, when the mind faces the physical pain, that it's okay, it's not that bad, you can live with it. So long as you don't have the desire for this pain to disappear. Because when you have, then you are creating the mental pain, which is a lot stronger. And you don't have to create this one. because the Buddha knows the nature of this mental suffering. It's created by your own desire. You desire to get rid of the physical pain, which is beyond your control. The physical pain arises due to circumstances or things that let it happen. And sometimes you can eliminate it, sometimes you cannot. When we practice, we want to assume that we cannot. We want so that we can leave it alone. Like when you get sick later on, and then you know that you cannot get rid of the pain while you're still curing it, And the only thing that will prevent you from suffering is just to accept the pain and not to have any desire to get rid of the pain. So you have to see that the nature of the pain is anicca. It is temporary. It comes and goes. It's anatta. When it comes, you cannot just tell it to go away. You should have to wait until it goes away, go by itself. Because when you have any desire to get rid of it, you are creating more mental pain, which is a lot stronger than the physical pain. This you can prevent, you can stop from creating by keeping your mind calm and peaceful and not reacting to the physical pain. So you first need to have samadhi to be able to remain calm and not reacting. And then study the truth of the pain, that it is anicca dukkha anatta, that it is better just to leave it alone. Then there will be no dukkha in the mind. But when you have desire to get rid of the pain, then you are creating dukkha in the mind, which is a lot stronger than the physical pain itself. So we're here not to get rid of the physical pain. We are here to get rid of the mental pain, which is caused by our desire. And it can arise on many other things, not just the pain itself. When we are not happy, when our mind is not happy, it's because we have desire for things to be like this or like that. And when they are not going according to your desire, you become unhappy. But if you can get rid of this desire, then whatever happens will not make you unhappy. See? So this is why we want to train the mind just to leave everything alone. Because we cannot control them all the time. Sometimes we can and sometimes we cannot. When we cannot and we have desire, then we'll just suffer unnecessarily. But if we know we cannot control, then just let it go, let it happen. Then we will not be affected by whatever happens.
So when the mind is very still and peace, and sometimes feeling separated from the physical, do we then just let the feeling, let it naturally come to a state of investigation, or do we just be with the stillness?
When you meditate, this is what will happen. Your mind will be separated from the body, but it's a temporary state. When you're in that state, let it be. Let you enjoy the separation for as long as possible, so you can know that you and the mind and the body are separate. They're not one and the same thing. So after you come out, and when the mind and the body rejoin together, then you can use vipassana to try to remind you that the mind and the body are separate. So the mind should not worry about the body, because the body is subjected to the three characteristics, and you cannot change that. The body will have to get sick, get old, and die. Yeah. But the mind doesn't have to be affected by the happening of the body. So this is what we use for vipassana. See? Try to remind to separate the mind from the body. try to understand the nature of the body, that it cannot be changed. The body is already destined to get sick, get old, and die, regardless of how well you take care of the body. You cannot prevent these things to happen. And if you want to prevent or you want to stop it from happening, you're only creating the suffering in your mind. If you don't want to suffer mentally, then you just have to let go of the body by accepting the three characteristics, understanding the three characteristics, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca, because the body is temporarily changing. Anatta, you cannot control it. Dukkha is mental suffering because you want to change the truth. You cannot change the truth. Normally we want the body to last forever, to be healthy all the time, not to get sick and not to die. But this is not the truth. So when the truth happens, we resist, we fight, we have desire, and we're creating more suffering into the mind unnecessarily. Yeah. So if we understand the truth, when the truth happens, we just accept it, and then there would be no mental suffering.
And then instead of just watching the body, can we do it with feeling?
That's what
a mixture in between. Or
you can do feeling, like when you have painful feeling, because that's the real test. Yeah. Because that's what you want to surpass, to overcome. Is the painful feeling. Yeah. The other feeling is no problem. A good feeling is no problem. So why watch the thing that is not problem to you? What is problem to you is the painful feeling. So you want to, when the painful feeling arises, that's when you have to have mindfulness on that. Mindfulness means teaching the mind to just be watchful, just to observe, not try to interfere with the painful feeling. Just to leave the painful feeling alone, because it is anatta. Anatta is, you cannot get rid of it. You cannot change it. Yeah. The only thing you can do is just watch it, accept it for what it is. Then your mind will not creating this dukkha that arises from your desire to get rid of your painful feeling. See, to develop mindfulness by using vedana is very difficult, because you don't know it. Normally you don't have anything to see, to feel. You know. But you have this body is always here. See, the reason why we develop mindfulness is to stop the mind from wandering, from thinking about this and that thing. So you need to have something to keep it busy, keep it occupied, like watching your body. Whatever you are doing, and keep watching it. Then you cannot send your mind elsewhere. Then your mind will be here and now. That's the goal, because the mind can be only calm when it is here and now. It cannot be calm when it goes into the past or go into the future. So you need something to bring it to be here and now. You can use a mantra. You can reflect on death. You can watch your body. You can go check the 40 subjects of meditation. They call it the 40 kammatthana. You can maybe choose the one that is suitable for you. Okay. All right. Sadhu. Okay. I'll give the anumodana. Yatha wari waha pura paripurenti sakalang evameva ito tinang petanang upakapati ichitang patitang tumhang kipameva samichato sapphe purentu sankapa janto panara so yatha mani choti raso yatha saphiti yo vivajantu sapparo ko vinasatu ma te bhavato antarayo sukhi ti kayuko bhava Abhijato litsa nityang vuttha pajayino yataro dhamma vatanti ayuvano sukhang phalang.